done to fix its healthcare system as a whole.
Japan's former Prime Minister Naoto Kan has arrived in Australia to speak about the future of nuclear power. His visit comes as Prime Minister Tony Abbott negotiates the sale of Australian uranium to India. Japan has a long history of importing Australian uranium, and Mr Kan was once a strong supporter of nuclear power. However, his views changed following the meltdown of the Fukushima nuclear plant 3 years ago. The ABC's Kate Wild spoke to Mr Kan in Darwin.
Mr Kan, welcome to Australia. 40 years ago, Japanese Prime Minister Tanaka visited Australia looking to buy Australia's uranium for the first time. But you come with a very different message. What is the purpose of your trip to Australia?
I would also like to share my experiences as Prime Minister at the time of the Fukushima nuclear disaster. And also this really made me come to the realization that nuclear power should be stopped. I hope that not only Japan but also Australia will work towards decreasing the dependence and decreasing the number of nuclear power plants along the world.
Is that the single experience that has led to your change of view on nuclear power?
Until 3/11, until the huge disaster which hit Japan, I believed that Japan did have the capacity to be able to safely control nuclear technology, nuclear power within the country. We were very close to the situation of having to evacuate all people within a 250-kilometre radius. This would have included also Tokyo, which would mean 40% of the entire Japanese population, close to 50 million people. Considering this worst-case scenario was what really made me reconsider my position on nuclear power.
How has Japan's energy policy changed since Fukushima?
Until then, the policy had been to actually increase the share of nuclear power in Japan's electricity mix. However, we completely returned to the drawing table on this point. And following this also, we worked together to look at how to introduce more renewable energy.
Australia is expanding uranium mining and sales overseas and reducing government funding to alternative energy development. What do you make of these policy directions in Australia?
What can be said is that the policy on renewable energy support has been maintained in Japan, even under the current government. On the issue of uranium exports, and this is my personal opinion rather than as an opinion representing Japan, I believe rather than looking at making contributions through exporting and making it more possible for more countries to be relying on nuclear power, all countries, including Australia, should be making efforts to reduce such dependence on nuclear power.
The ABC's fact-checkers have examined the